Is Brett still in the toilet? Oh, we got to get this voiceover done. Benny, you just come and do this one.
In the last episode, Kappa ate pizza for breakfast.
That's great. And Brett prepared for a relaxing ride home.
Kappa had a massive stack coming around a corner and ended up in hospital. Ha!
Oh, yeah, I hate that dumb laugh. And Brett had to ride bitch in the freezing cold.
Will Kappa be able to continue on with the ride?
What will the doctors say? Find out in this episode of The Wrong Way Round. That was good, man, but you got to sound a little dumber.
Go.
I wake up in Guyra Hospital the next day, and I go to the toilet, and there's blood in my urine.
Jesus.
Yeah, and it was more of a rosé colour. I must have.
Sorry, you're peeing blood and you're trying to compare it to a nice wine.
Yeah.
It was more of a rosé. Had some fruity undertones.
Yeah, more from the Bordeaux region, I'd say.
Okay. Oh, I don't mind this one.
The doctor goes, "This is bad." He said, "What we're going to do is we're going to send you to Armidale for a CT scan." He said, "Look, I think it'll be fine, but have the scan." And I'm like, "Why do we have to have the scan?" I was like, can we just avoid the scan? I want to get back on the bike. Like, this is the best. I'm thinking of content as well. I'm like, what a great story it will be for the doco. I crash, then I get back on the bike, and we finish the race. And all I could think of was Brett, because I thought, he's not doing this alone. I'm not leaving my buddy to ride back alone. I'm fucking doing this with him, you know? Hook or by crook, on stilts, I'm gonna ride. And the doctor goes, "Look, you seem in a hurry. I know everybody at the Armidale Hospital.
Yeah.
We'll get you there in the ambulance, do the scan, you'll be out by lunchtime. You can continue the ride." I was like, great. So I jump in the ambulance, and then Brett and Christian are there to see me.
Well, we rock up, and because I still know Nick is a very stubborn man, and when he doesn't like a fuss. So I was like, also I call your mum, your girlfriend, and they're umming and ahhing, and no one really wants to make a decision about whether we should can the ride or what's going on. So I was like, look, I don't think it's a good idea if you have big head trauma, but I'm not a doctor, so it's not my decision to make. But I was like, I think the doctors, knowing most doctors would be like, mate, take a couple days off and then go again, or whatever has to happen. So we rock up to see you, and then you're in the ambulance. And I was like, well, Nick's never going to listen to me if I say, mate, we'll just chill for a couple of days, or we'll pull the pin. But the paramedic was there. So I was like, well, the paramedic, years of knowledge and stuff. I'll say, mate, what do you think? Do you think he should take a couple of days off? And the paramedic, what does he say?
He goes, "Nah, he'll be right. Like, he'll be either sitting on a couch or a bike. What's the difference? He's only going to be in pain getting on or off." And I'm like, yes, this is the paramedic I wanted to hear. And Brett, I just see Brett's face sink. I could see that he did want to finish the ride. At the same time, he was over it. He was like, he just wanted to get back. And he was ruined.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't want the ride to be over. I wanted to finish it. But when something big and traumatic happens like that, and it's fair enough you see it from your angle, which is like you want to get back on a bike, you're fine. But it was pretty, seeing your best mate in that state, I didn't enjoy that moment. And I thought you'd really messed yourself up. So there's about a whole day where I was panicking. And I was like, it not ruined my trip. It ruined my day because I was worried about it.
Yeah. Oh, but just to see your sadness when the doctor goes,
I was like, well, now he's got to get back on the bike. I'm like, I've just spent 10 minutes trying to convince him that maybe it's not the best idea. I'm like, oh, well, here we go again. So anyway, they take you to the hospital. They take you to Armidale.
I go to Armidale Hospital. No one's in there. I'm like, sweet. They go, what do you need, mate? Just a CT scan? No problem. We'll get you in. Just wait there. In half an hour, the place turns into total madness. Everyone is running everywhere. Turned out, you would not believe it.
There's another funeral in town. No, you couldn't get a bed there.
There was a bus crash.
Oh my God.
Then an elderly woman got hit by a car, and so the people in the car had to get treated, so did the elderly woman. So I'm just getting passed around like a footy. They need to do 100 CT scans on everybody before they do me.
Yep.
And I'm like, I'm not going to get out of here. I'm not going to get out of here. And then Brett rang me, and I'm like, mate, you're not going to ride back alone. And you're like, you're right. I'm not going to ride back alone. No. I'm not riding back.
No.
Mate, the parents are coming to get our bikes.
Yeah.
Let's go, face the reality. And I just had to face the reality.
I was like, I'm done with umming and ahhing. We lost too much time. I had to get back because I had to go on tour the next week. I was like, this is killing the time frame. I was like, no one was making a decision, and I was asking questions, and I went, you know what? This is what's happening. You're not getting on the bike. We're going. I talked to your dad. Your dad was in the same frame of mind as me. He goes, I'm picking up the bike. Then you're both not riding back.
Yeah.
I'll put the bikes on the trailer. End of story. I was like, great. And I was like, Nick's not going to be happy with me, but I mean, he might get 2 concussions in one day.
No, I was fine. I was happy. Look, once that bus crash happened, I was like, I am not getting out of here till late at night.
No. Yeah,
so
not gonna be scared.
I'm waiting in hospital. I'm getting passed around like a footy. I have the CT scan, and yeah, fair enough. They're like, nah, no damage. You're fine.
Yeah.
You just got a bit of pee in your blood. You're fine.
Ladies and gentlemen, Nick Capper is okay. He's out of hospital, and look at that. Oh, that's a big one.
Yes. So then I get an email from my agent, and they said that audition you did, I don't know how.
The
you had one
audition
red
that I
eye.
refused to film, I did in one take, was angry at you, and it was probably the worst audition I've ever seen.
I just linked my velocity count to my 7-Eleven app to earn double the rewards.
They said, look, the director wants to see you. Can you be in Melbourne tomorrow afternoon? So I'm like, look, I don't think I can, but I'll see what happens when I get out. I face the reality. I get out, I see Brett, I see my parents, so great. But then I see the motorbikes in the back of the trailer, and Brett almost had to restrain me. I was like, come on, they're right there. We can get it off the trailer.
I was like,
I can walk.
I've booked flights, I've changed 4 motels, I've done too much work, I'm done.
Well, he hadn't booked the flights then because we go back to the hotel room, I have a shower, and then Brett and I look at the flights, there's no connecting flights. But there is a 1-hour connection in Sydney.
Yes.
So as long as the plane's not late from Armidale, which country flights, they never are,
we
could get back in time for the audition in Melbourne.
And also, side note, I didn't care about the audition. I was like, this doesn't impact me. You haven't got the job. And you're like, I need to get back in time for this. I was like, oh, okay, sorry, mate. Sorry, I'll just logistically organise everything for you to get to this crappy audition. With a job you're never going to get anyway.
Yeah. But Brett's like, yeah, well look, we've towed the line. Every other day we've had a deadline. We had one day with no deadline, and that was the day I crashed. So we're like, all right, well, we might as well run the wire again.
So we booked the flights. Nick needed to get to his audition on a job that he's definitely not going to get.
Yeah, I was like, why are we doing this?
Whatever. So what else can go wrong? We decided to go to the Armidale. I think it was the Welder's Dial, which is an amazing pub. And then we had a few schooners, which was great. And we won a pizza. So our luck is turning, you know? It's all coming up us, you know?
We're in Armidale, but Armidale, New South Wales regional. And guess, this town has it all. Yes! The bush jokes, baby! All right, King Capper has just been released from hospital. They said he had a bleeding kidney before. He's pissing blood this morning. And what better way to heal his kidney than a fucking skewy?
Thought I'd see how it goes.
When I'm rich, I'm gonna buy a CT scanner for Gyra.
And why is that?
Because I wouldn't have to go to Armidale today.
But Armidale's 20 minutes up the road.
Yeah, but when you got one at Gyra, you don't need to go to Armidale.
I don't even think they have the room for it, or the operator.
Yeah, well, I'll buy it. That's how big I'm going to be.
How much Bitcoin
Well,
did you buy?
$500 in Bitcoin, and it was going up, and I was telling Caitlin, you got to get in.
As
But
if your
boy,
girlfriend is going to listen to you.
Boy,
for
am I
financial-
wrong at the moment. I'm down $80. But when it goes up, Gyra, you're getting a CT scanner.
Cheers.
Cheers,
You're
mate.
alive. I mean, you can't get much stupider than you are already, so.
Have a few more beers, leave, and then the next day, well, we'll see what happens.
See what happens. We'll see what happens.
Please stop doing that.
Why not? It's great. We'll see what happens.
She's a bit bloody cold. That's the type of comfort you get at Country Comfort.
So I was loving the next day. We wake up, Nick is stressed out about time, running behind, we've got an hour to get a connecting flight. Meanwhile, I couldn't give a crap, right? My trip's over, I'm having a nice time on the plane, I couldn't wait to get to the lounge, have a beer, maybe a champagne, some canapes, why not?
I was like, oh God, am I going to make this connection? This 1 hour connection? I hate that saying. Yeah, it is that. I mean, you're right, but also, you can't use that saying to get out of everything.
This is true.
We somehow make the connection. The flight is on time. The pilot, I was wearing a beer hat, and the pilot's like, sick hat.
Man, that was the weirdest thing. So we walk onto the tarmac, and the last thing you want to hear from your pilot is when he sees a 4X hat, and he was like, I'm pretty sure he shuckered you as well. He's like, sick hat. And I was like, are you flying this plane? Yeah, we're going sideways all the way to Melbourne,
Yeah, but do you think we should call it the long way bone?
Yes, definitely. A long way going. What about the slot way round?
We get in to Melbourne, and I just make the audition. And I'm limping, covered in bandages. I've got a big bandage up my side. My clothes aren't washed. I'm still wearing motorbike boots.
It's a pretty stock standard for every audition you've ever rocked up to.
Man, it was brutal. So I walk in there, I do the lines, and then I go out, and then we enter a lockdown.
Oh my God. What are the odds? We're like, all right, we'll just have to delay this trip by 4 weeks or 3 weeks so I finish touring or whatever, and then we'll be back on the road, and then Melbourne goes into a hard lockdown, and we can't get back on the bikes, well, because they're still in Queensland. But don't we go down to lockdown for like 6 months or something crazy?
Yeah, it was huge.
So
However,
long. Where there's a will, there's a way.
I got the ad. I got the audition. I don't know how, but I got it. I'm like halfway to a flight already.
Well, I'm already on the plane.
That's not true.
I don't know how you got it either. And Nick Capper, only Nick Capper can crash a motorbike, then have to go home, and then somehow again you land on your feet. You get this job after getting angry at me, going, "Oh, you wanted to go?" Like, oh my Lord!
I still would have rather finished the ride.
I know you would have.
But because
you made it up to me.
Yeah, because Brett helped me out. I bought him a mountain bike. We bought mountain bikes.
We're in lockdown. We could only have a 5K radius. We found a mountain bike track. So for the next 6 months, we pretty much every single day, there was nothing to do. For our hour out, we'll just go mountain biking.
Yep. Brett's girlfriend went to New Zealand.
She got stuck there?
She got stuck there. We planned a big couples trip to New Zealand. That got cancelled.
Everything got cancelled.
I got testicular cancer.
Oh yeah, that happened during that as well.
That happened as well.
Jesus. And then about 6 months later, after we get through all the lockdowns and stuff, and everything's kind of calming down in the COVID area, we planned a trip to pick up the bikes, get back on the road, but this time we took our girlfriends because we wanted to show them how beautiful Australia was, and we kind of wanted them to be a part of our journey with us.
Yes.
And I don't think they had the best time.
In the next episode of The Wrong Way Round.
I can't believe he's still in the toilet. We need to return to Queensland to get our bikes, but then we're hit with a 4-month COVID lockdown.
Will the adventure continue? Is this the end for the boys?
Nah, actually there's still 3 more episodes.
Or is there?
Shut up, Benny. Find out next time on The Wrong Way Round.
Legends. Along the ride, we raised some cash for Are You Bogged, Mate, which is a men's mental health charity for blokes in the country. If you got some spare coin, jump on their website and donate.